Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris and on today's video we're going to rank all of the fragrances from the Bottega Veneta collection. I actually purchased two separate fragrances from this house, and I also alongside purchased the actual little discovery set. So this is what it looks like. It's a little white box. It looks like you get 2.5 mils. So it looks like it's 2.5 mils each one, which is going to be a grand total of 0.8 ounces, and which is, I mean, it's nothing really. So this is what they look like inside. They are little vials and they are not sprayers, and I don't like when they're not sprayers. I was very excited. I was also a little sad because I remember the old mainstream fragrances by Bottega Veneta, like Not, and the Bottega Veneta, I think it's Bottega Veneta Eau de Parfum, for men and women, both being iconic and being really good. They were softer, more gentle fragrances, more everyday wear, if you will. An office-friendly fragrance collection really did represent the house of Bottega Veneta perfectly. Then they had their private line, which was the Acqua collection. These were in that bottle that since has been copied. Maybe the bottle is now on Alibaba Express and these like dupe lines are copying the bottle. Anywho, that fragrance collection itself was also discontinued, and then they came out with these. So what happened is Bottega Veneta moved from manufacturing the fragrances with Coty, which is a large perfume conglomerate. They brought all their formulation and production in-house. This is the first time that Kering, which is the owner of Bottega Veneta, Gucci, Yves Saint Laurent, Alexander McQueen, has done this, so it's a big step for them. Their competitor, which is LVMH, does this already with Dior, Givenchy, Guerlain. So this is the first brand for Kering that is going to manufacture their perfume in-house. So I rank them all, and I really had a hard time because I do love the collection. And I want to preface this video by saying all of them are actually really good scents. Are all of them the most unique scents? That is going to be up to you to decide if you get to smell them, because obviously I can only give you my opinion. The bottles are beautiful, the quality is there, they have put attention to detail. Let's start this video. I don't know if to start from the worst to the best or the best to the worst, because I feel like some of these are gonna set people off, but let's just start off with the worst one in my opinion. Now, none of these are worst. I have to say that they are all pretty good. This one didn't really age well, if you will, for me. I started to smell other fragrances, and since then I have obviously gone back and done research and compared it to other fragrances in my collection as well as other fragrances on the market. And it's not a bad scent. I have to say it's going to be classic. It's going to be very traditional, if you will. But the one I'm talking about in the number 5 spot is Alchemie. It's one of the more deeper scents in this collection. It's one of the ones that has a little bit more of that luxurious feel, that traditional luxurious feel, obviously, because typically when we think high-end luxurious, we think heavier most of the time. It doesn't necessarily translate into lighter. I know lighter tends to be a little bit more modern, and to some people it can come off as boring, and I'm victim of that as well. So this was kind of hard to put this on the very bottom spot. This one has Brazilian pink pepper, mandarin orange, labdanum, nutmeg, leather, Somalian myrrh, sandalwood, and vetiver. So I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's the best though, and the reason I don't think it's the best is because out of all of the ones in this collection, this one kind of just faded into the background for me. It was not really one that stood out to me. It's not really one that I went back and thought, this one smells good. It doesn't smell bad, like I said. It does actually do what it's supposed to do. It does deliver the message that it's trying to deliver. It's just one that if you were to walk into a store, spray on, and you got to try all of the collection, and you got to walk home with little tester strips of each individual one, this would probably be the one that you're like, I don't remember what it is if you didn't write it down. So
who are you? What are you doing here?
that is the only issue with this one. Otherwise, it is a nice scent, but I do think, in my opinion, it's a little lazy because this is a tested and proven formulation of fragrance or style of perfumery that really doesn't, you don't really have to try too much. You know it's going to be successful, you know it's going to sell, and because of that I find it to be a little lazy compared to the rest of this collection. The next one, I'm going to try to pronounce this properly, is Deja Minuit.
Oh! Somebody! Oh! He needs some milk!
Minuit, I think that's how you pronounce it. This fragrance is not bad. I actually can see myself wearing this one. I actually can see myself purchasing this one, a full-size bottle of it, because it is likable. It's going to have that classic flair of perfume. What I mean by that, it's going to have a deeper, warmer element because this fragrance does have cinnamon, cardamom, lemon, jasmine, absolute, geranium, bourbon, vanilla, patchouli, and vetiver. So it's a very classic scent. It does fall more in spectrum for a masculine fragrance. Although once the dry down starts to happen, you get more of that cinnamon, which is, like I said, going to give you that warmth and that luxury that we want out of a fragrance like this. Now, the only reason it's ranked here at the bottom is because it kind of gets lost in the sea of these 5 fragrances. Even Alchemie stands out a little bit more. The only reason it was put lower than this is because that fragrance, like I said, is it's a little lazy. It's a little bit of a lazy launch, if you will. And this one, it's not a lazy launch. It just kind of gets lost in the sauce, and it's just not one that I think stands out with the other top 3 in this collection. The next one on this list is Acqua di Sal. Now this one's a really nice one. It's like waves crashing onto the Italian beach, giving you that very nice transportive type of quality. This fragrance makes you feel like you're going on vacation. Now, it's lower than the other 2, not because it's bad, again. It is lower though because it kind of reminds me of a fragrance out there already, which is Cipresso de Toscana by Acqua di Parma. It's part of their Blue Mediterranean line. And it's not a bad fragrance. It's not bad to be compared to that, but I'm saying for the price point we're paying here, you can kind of get a similar vibe out of that fragrance and find it at discounters for like 40, 50, 60 bucks at most. So that's the difference here. This one is $4.50. Obviously you get the beautiful packaging and all the craftsmanship that they have done to perfect their bottles and their quality. But again, it's not necessarily a bad fragrance. I think it's really nice. Now, it doesn't state that it has cypress in it, which is a little confusing because you really pick up a sharp cypress note in this fragrance. And it doesn't state that. It states that it has black pepper, Macedonian juniper berry, mandarin, orris butter, galbanum, osmanthus, sea salt, echo musk, which is a registered trademark, Spanish labdanum absolute, and vetiver. So it's more of a greener, fresher scent. It's kind of like walking on a beach and smelling shrubbery, or like smelling the earth being wet at the same time. The waves hitting that rocky seaside. So it does have a beautiful quality to it. It does have emotion to it. It has some depth to it, but because it is very similar to, like I said, Cipresso de Toscana by Acqua di Parma, that's the only reason it's a little low. The final 2 were very, very difficult to come to a conclusion to which one I was going to pick for the number 1 spot, because both of them have pretty good, they're both very great contenders for this ranking. So the number 2 spot is Colpo di Sole. Now this one is a lighter, fresher fragrance. It does have some very unique characteristics to it. Now, it does remind me a lot of a fragrance by the name of Dior Riviera, but with better quality, a little bit more craftsmanship put into this fragrance itself.
Suspicious.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's weird.
I do think that they do kind of resemble one another. They are light scents, they have a sweetness to them, they're kind of airy, they're kind of musky as well, and the notes for this are going to be bergamot, French angelica, ambrette seed, Moroccan orange blossom, osmanthus, bourbon vanilla, echo musk, and vetiver. Now that is not the most groundbreaking fragrance. I mean, let's just be real here, but it does give you what they are wanting out of this fragrance, which is to transport you onto the Italian Riviera seaside. And this one does. Like the number 3 spot one does as well, this one does it even better in my opinion. It's a little bit lighter, it's also a little romantic, it's fun, it's flirty, it's just what Bottega Veneta is, because obviously Bottega Veneta now catering to a more younger audience. This one does capture that audience as well. It's fun, it's delightful, it's creative, but it does remind me of Dior Riviera. Now, which would I pick out of Dior Riviera? This one. I would probably pick this one. I love Dior. It's just sometimes it's a hit or miss to know if that fragrance you're gonna buy from Dior is gonna have great longevity and performance anymore. This one itself, I mean, just alone, the longevity and performance is great. You also do save money when you buy a refill, because I think they sell them in 200 mils, so that's quite a bit of savings there. So this one's just, it's a no-brainer. I think this one, if you are looking for a vacation resort fragrance that you can transport yourself into the Italian Riviera, then this is the one for you. I think you'll be very, very happy with it. And the number 1 spot goes to the fragrance by the name of Come With Me. Now, It was kind of like I said, in a toss up between Colpo di Sole and Come With Me, because they're both really beautiful fragrances, but they're both very, very different. They're worlds apart when it comes to the actual story that they're trying to tell. Now, Come With Me definitely has all of the building blocks to create an iconic and luxurious fragrance. It is going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say snobby, but it does have more of that old money quality. It is powdery, and it is an orris fragrance. So if you're not a fan of orris, then this is one to steer clear from, because that is a prevalent note in here, and it lives in this fragrance forever. So this fragrance has the most unique notes in this entire collection, in my opinion, because it's more playful. Even though it's that traditional classic fragrance that we want out of Bottega Veneta, that is going to give us luxury, that it's going to give us, it's just going to feed us that fantasy world of being able to be on a yacht on the Italian Riviera as well. But this one's a little bit more luxurious, if you will, more uppity, more snooty. So the notes for this are going to be Italian bergamot, artichoke, carrot seed, French orris, butter, cabrera,
Cabruva,
jasmine, bourbon, vanilla, leather, and vetiver. So it checks every single box on that list, letting you know that it's picking every single good ingredient to put into this fragrance to give you a terrific scent. It's going to be more on that classic side, like I said, but it's also going to have that quirkiness because they're adding some notes that traditionally you don't see in fragrance all that often. I mean, this is not the first one to use these notes, or maybe this note combination even, but it does do it in a very quirky way, in a very Bottega Veneta type of way, which is going to be playful and fun, but still serious, still quiet, still subdued and elegant. And that's why I picked this one for the top spot. Like I said, it is more of a powdery scent, so if you are not a fan of that, then this is just one to steer clear of, because it is orris butter heavy. It has some sweetness to it, some floral elements to it. That carrot seed, although being earthy, it does add a lot of character and sweetness to this fragrance. I mean, it's just an impeccable fragrance. Now, again, none of these are bad. I would probably, if I had unlimited budget, you guys, I'd probably get all of them, just because they're all so Bottega Veneta, if you will. Some of them are generic, like Alchemie. That's the only reason I put it down there, is because it's kind of a lazy scent. The other four, though, I would say I would purchase myself, and because if I got to purchase all four, I'd probably have to purchase the fifth one. That's just me. I have a problem, okay? So what do you think of this fragrance collection? Have you tried any of the Bottega Veneta fragrances? Let me know all of that down below. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more fragrance-related content. Until next time, take care.